Water is one of the 5 magical elements that makes the life possible on planet Earth. And even though water holds such an immense power, it is perhaps the simplest of all elements. Just look at its properties: formless, shapeless, colorless, odorless, tasteless, transparent, supple and fluid. Can anything get any simpler than that? Probably not. The more you study water, the more it fascinates you. In this video, we will talk about 7 life lessons that we could learn from this simple yet fascinating element, which is water. The very first lesson that we could learn from water is being formless and without ego.
Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Water is shapeless. As we pour it into a bowl, it becomes the bowl. When we get rid of predestined beliefs, we transform into a formless being, not allowing the reality's obstacles to phase us. Similar to zigzag, snake-like form of a river or stream that flows down a mountainous terrain, life will set you up on a path and without notice will divert you off that path when necessary. Our natural inclination is to resist the new path, but the changes is inevitable, and when we question our life's changes, we start to doubt our purpose and begin to ask questions that never have a clear answer. Instead of opposing life's changes, let life flow naturally in whatever way it chooses. Be like water and take on the form that the world has in store for you. Be the most authentic, fluid version of who you are, as clear liquid never goes stale. As Mr. Lee says, water can drip and it can crash. Become like water, my friend. The second lesson that we could learn from water is living with harmony. When water faces an obstacle, it simply flows around it. It doesn't get upset, it doesn't complain, it doesn't get angry. Water always finds a solution without force, without conflict. Water makes you become more comfortable in your own skin. It lets you focus only on the things that you can control and not on the things that you cannot. That way, the work becomes easier. Water alters the entire game plan from general consensus of achieving more success to the philosophical concept of achieving more harmony. The third lesson that we could learn from water is persistence. A river cuts through the rock not because of its power, but because of its persistence. Jim Watkins. Because of the persistent efforts, water, which comes across as soft and supple, is able to cut through the strongest of the rocks, smoothing their hard surfaces. Water does not apply force and yet is able to accomplish this mammoth task because of its persistence. This goes to show that the way to success is not perfection but persistence. For at the end of the day, it is slow and steady who wins the race. Your goals might overwhelm you, but if you split them into smaller goals and achieve them consistently over a period of time, you are bound to succeed. The fourth lesson that we could learn from water is the dimension of stillness is within us. The ocean looks turbulent on the surface but is still within. Annan. The surface of ocean is calm at times and turbulent at other times, but irrespective of what happens on the surface, deep inside the ocean there is a vast body of water that is perfectly calm and still. The turbulence on the surface does not affect the stillness within. This same dimension of stillness exists within us too, and irrespective of what happens on the outside, you can always take refuge in this space of stillness within. You can access this state whenever you want simply by being present with yourself and letting go of the thoughts in your mind. In other words, by removing attention from the thoughts and resultant emotions. This state of stillness is where all intelligence springs forth. This is a state of deep calm and peace where all the healing takes place. This is the state through which you can connect with your consciousness or your true nature. The fifth lesson that we could learn from water is humility. All streams flow to the sea because it is lower than they are. Humility gives it its power. Tao Te Ching. The sea is vast but it still lays low. Therefore, all the little streams and rivers automatically flow into it, making it bigger and stronger. Such is the power of humility. No matter how successful you become, it is important that you always stay humble. When you are humble, you always attract positive energy in your life. You attract the right people, right situations into your life, lifting you further up. Being humble doesn't mean you are weak. It just means that you are free from the lower level emotions like pride and jealousy. It means that you are not a slave of your ego and therefore no longer have a need to impress others or seek external validation. You are content within yourself, and that is what true freedom is. The sixth lesson that we could learn from water is seeing the silver lining. Be like water means that we are able to adapt to different circumstances. Every situation has something positive to it. In still water, the dust can settle so it becomes clear. Streaming water passes different places and sceneries and nurtures the thing that it encounters. But if we master the flexibility of finding the positive in negative, we will realize that these undesired characteristics have positive aspects to them. It's just a matter of perspective. Example, being poor means less money and possessions to worry about. And being ugly means that you are less likely to end up in a string of abusive relationships and that people like us for our personality instead of our looks. Every cloud has a silver lining. Moreover, water always seeks the lower places and makes the best out of circumstances that no one wants to be in. A famous actor, philosopher, and martial artist once said, "Don't get set on one form, adapt it, build your own, and let it grow, be like water." The seventh lesson that we could learn from water is calmness brings clarity. Your mind is like water, my friend. When it is agitated, it becomes difficult to see, but if you allow it to settle, the answer becomes clear. Bill Keane. When water becomes still, all suspended particles slowly settle down, making the water look clear. On the other hand, when water is stirred, particles mix back with the water and making it unclear. The same is the case with your mind. When you're angry, restless or agitated, your mind gets clouded with too many thoughts leading to the confusion and lack of clarity. Any action you take in this state of mind is bound to be erroneous. But if you allow yourself to calm down, the thoughts settle and the clarity ensures. This is because your mind can work at its highest capacity only when it is calm and composed. When your mind is agitated, the same stale thoughts are recycled over and over again, clogging your mind and not allowing the fresh thoughts to arise. So, whenever you feel confused or frustrated, the first thing you need to do is stop thinking and relax. In other words, you need to stop giving attention to your thoughts and divert your attention to something neutral like breathing. Take a few deep breaths and let your attention rest on your breathing. A few seconds of doing this is enough to calm your mind, and your mind becomes calmer. It starts to attract real solutions. So this is all about today's video. I will meet you soon in the next video